Good morning and welcome to Morning Coffee with Rob. If you were here just a few minutes ago or were on Facebook basically just Facebook, you will see that we probably ended up with a false start this morning. That was on me as I had not set up the broadcast correctly, so I had to quickly end it and then restart it. I apologize for the false start. That was completely on me there. I had just missed hitting a button, basically. The stream can't be finished. It's still not working quite right, but that's okay. I can upload afterwards onto YouTube. So anyone on YouTube that was probably looking for it on YouTube, I apologize. I'm not sure why it's saying the stream is finished, considering I had just started it. But just technical difficulties, no big deal. This is our final show for a little while, probably for the rest of the week at least, as we are going through a small revamp to get the show to do a little bit more than what we are doing right now. We are looking to have a few extra little pieces where we can show some ideas, concepts, strategies. We're going to also perhaps look at trying to get some guests as well, which I think will be a lot of fun. This is going to kind of just be the capper for June going into July, as tomorrow is Canada Day as well. And hopefully tomorrow morning will be nice because right now we got some rain coming down pretty good here. And I'm hoping tomorrow will be nice and sunny. Or at least not raining anyhow, because I like to get my bike rides started before I get caught in the rain, not going out starting in the rain, which I'm sure a lot of you can attest to if you ride bikes of any kind. So that's kind of my plan for tomorrow morning. Also with Canada Day, I'm not sure what else is going to be planned. It all depends on the weather. And then, yeah, like I said, we're going to take a break for a little bit, revamp the show a tiny bit, and then we will be back next week. At least that's the plan anyhow. So we're just looking at kind of doing a little bit of schedule changing and then doing up a few different ideas as well to bring a little bit more value to the show. I enjoy doing it, so I want to keep going with it. I just need to revamp it a little bit better to bring a little bit more of what I would like to see come into it. And I'm sure that you would like to see come into it as well, being that it's not a lot always happening, but I do enjoy it. I mean, I got the chat down here. I got a chat up over here, so I can always talk to people, which is pretty sweet. It's just I want to be able to bring more value and more entertainment. So I'm going to try and look at what I can also do to bring more to you, which is always a nice thing and a good plan. I wish I could do something with my background, but I don't have a green screen, and I don't feel like putting out the money for one. So I'm going to look at trying to revamp the idea of where I sit or stand as well, so that way I can have a bit of a different background and a bit better of a background as well. Because who wants to look at my ugly couches, right? Nobody. I don't even like looking at my ugly couches, to be honest. So my dog that stole the show yesterday, I woke up and she had kind of pooped on my floor back over here, which I had to clean up as well, which is also why we got a bit of a later start as well, as I had to get that all cleaned up and disinfected on the carpet and put away in the garbage and then put her outside. I don't know why she decided that she had to poop on the floor last night, but she felt the need to. So we have now put her outside for the morning, even though it is raining and she's a fluffy dog. She's going to stink when she gets inside. She's going to stink of wet dog. But what can you do? So I will just have to kind of keep her in the kitchen for a little bit, just so that way the rest of the house doesn't stink up too bad from her being a wet dog. And she's a good dog overall. I just don't know what her deal was as to why she decided to poop on the floor in the middle of the night, and especially considering the fact that she was literally outside all day long and had eaten first thing in the morning. So I really don't know. But either way, it kind of is what it is at this point. It's all cleaned up and we are good. I think I hear my youngest mulling around as well in his room. Which, oh, that turkey, I tell you. We went and well, my friend came into town. Well, actually, she lives in town, so she came into my neighborhood because she wanted to bring her daughter down to ride her bike in a flatter area because where she lives is pretty hilly. And we had quite a bit of fun, and we ended up playing frisbee in the end, where Jason was taking part and was having a good time. If you're just new to the show or not aware, he is autistic, and was starting to participate with the kids in a game of frisbee. So we're just throwing it around in a circle, and he was kind of just playing with the kids and kind of putting a hat on them. Actually, this hat over here that you see on the floor behind me, I was putting it on some of the kids and just kind of pulling it over their eyes, and they were horsing around, just like, "Oh, I can't see though. Someone turned on the lights," which was pretty sweet and funny. And then he was also trying to throw the frisbee as well. So we were trying to teach him how to throw the frisbee properly. And then he actually was got on my friend's daughter's bike, which is a little bit too small for him, and was riding around in the basketball court at the playground, and was just riding around in circles. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the first time he's ever ridden a bike. So I went and got him training wheels for a bigger bike that we have that I was hoping he would fit a little bit better, but he's just a little too big for it. But he's at least going to be able to get the idea of riding the bike. And I'm hoping I can maybe somehow find a way of extending his seat post a little bit as well, which would help out there also. I'm not sure how I would be able to get that to work, but I will figure out a way of making it work to get him so he's at least learning how to ride the bike and being a little bit more stable on it. Which is definitely better to have spent $20 on training wheels for this bike to help him out to start learning it, because at one point he didn't even want to. He would say he wanted to try, but then he'd get on and then he didn't like how wobbly it was, even with the training wheels, and he would get off immediately and walk beside the bike instead of trying to ride with the bike. And now he is definitely all about trying to ride the bike, which is really sweet, and he was doing a pretty good job. The bike that we were using is a little small for him at this point. Even though it's bigger than my friend's daughter's bike, this one was still a little too small for him. He's a pretty tall guy, and you can see he was definitely struggling to try and impel it because his knees were coming up too far for him. But I don't have a bigger bike for him that will work with training wheels at this point. So we're gonna see if we can work with him on this and see how well we can get it to go forward with the training wheels on the bike that we do have. And if it does work out good, then we can keep going with that. And if not, then we will try to figure something else out. If we can keep him going with that, I would be ecstatic because I have another bike that he will be able to eventually start using once his big brother outgrows his bike, which he's pretty much done at this point as well. And once his big brother is fully outgrown his bike, then we'll be able to transfer it over to Mr. J. And then Aid Man will be able to ride a different bike, a bigger bike. But if the whole idea with the training wheels doesn't work out so well, then I have another option. It's going to be more expensive. Instead of using hand-me-down bikes, it's going to be having to look at doing like a big kids or like an adult recumbent bike, basically, where I can adjust the frame on it. I did find one from a company called, I think it was called Mobo or something to that effect, and it looks like it will work really well. And I think it'll be really up his alley if this idea of the training wheels doesn't work. It's a little bit more expensive and out of my range right at this point. And it's not like it's overly expensive. It's just right now with everything going on in my life, it's just outside of my scope. But I don't want it to be. So I am going to be working on making this all work out as to how I want everything to be in life. I do have this vision of how I want to be and where I want everything to be going to. So I am going to be working on that happen. It's obviously going to take some time, but if the weather keeps being kind of rainy, I think I'm going to have some time to be able to figure out a way of getting him this bike as well. It's just I would really like him to be able to ride a bike and go with us, because he really does want to come along and take part. Like, he should not be disincluded. He should really be included in everything that we're doing. And I do have a trailer to put onto my bike so I can tow him around. The problem is now is he's getting too big for that trailer, and it's getting really hard to tow that kid around. I mean, I did it last summer, but I don't think I can do it this summer. he's gotten a lot bigger since then. He's taller, he's filled out a lot more, and it does definitely make it more difficult to try and tow the little kid, well, not little kid, he's a big kid now, around on the trails. Even though they're really flat trails, it's a lot of work to tow him back and forth and around. So I'd really like to get him his own little mode of transportation so he can get around, and that way he can also go ride bikes with his brother and everything as well. And I'm right, he is awake. He's just came out of his door and went back in, which is great because I actually have, it might not register it anymore, being at 6:30 in the morning. But I have it set because I got a sensor on his door now, because sometimes, just sometimes, I don't know when he gets up in the middle of the night, and sometimes he doesn't go back to bed right away. Like, I won't know if he went back to bed and back to sleep. However, I will know if he woke up, so I have put a door sensor on his door, so it'll at least send an alert to my phone. So when I wake up in the morning, I can take a look at it and be like, oh, he got up at 1 o'clock in the morning. This will explain why he's still maybe sleeping until, 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, because he decided to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and went back to sleep at sometime, probably some stupid god-awful time that he decided to finally fall back to sleep at. So it's just a way of kind of monitoring it so I can kind of figure out how the day will play out with him, and to make sure that, and also that way I know a little bit more about what's going on with him as well, as to whether he's sleeping properly or not. Right now he might not, because I was mad at the dog earlier too, so I probably did wake him up, because I did get a little loud with my dog Harley. I kind of yelled at her for pooping on the floor because there was no reason for it. And now I probably woke him up, which is fine, because it is, I would have woken him up about 6 o'clock, so it's fine. He can be awake at this point anyway. It's just anytime before 5 o'clock, I find that he is a little bit more miserable and doesn't really want to do quite a bit. And it's really hard to get him to come up and come out and do things when he's been awake since 4:30 and earlier. I find it a little bit, 4:30 is probably about the cutoff. 4:30, he's sometimes pretty good, but sometimes not. So that's kind of the hit or miss point in the day as to whether he's going to be good or not as to coming out and doing things. But if he was awake before 4:30, there's very much a likelihood that he will want to be falling back to sleep a lot sooner than later. So I'm trying to monitor his sleep through when he leaves his room, because often he will leave his room because he loves drinking water. So he definitely has to go pee in the middle of the night. So if he woke up and to go to the bathroom, then I will know that he at least woke up. As when he fell back to sleep, I won't know that, unfortunately. I got to figure that part of it out yet. Or if there is a way for me to even figure that out. I'm not even too concerned about figuring it out. I just want to know if he woke up, so at least that way I know that he was awake. And then I can kind of figure out everything else from there. Well, anyway, since Mr. J is awake, I am going to head out before he comes running into the living room. And I hope you all have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you probably next week, like I said, just so that way I can revamp the show a little bit and get some extra things put in to help you and bring more value to you as well. Because I would really like to be able to provide a little bit more with the show, since I'm trying to cut down on the amount of broadcasting stuff or video stuff that I'm doing, because I have other obligations as well, and doing this 4 days a week plus the Thursday Night Thoughts, which I've already closed off, and then Trail Tales, and then the 15-second thoughts, which I was going to bring back, but decided not to bring back 15-second thoughts. But I still want to do the Trail Tales because I really find those a lot to be a really use to people, and a lot of people really like them and appreciate the fact that they get featured in the videos as well. So we're going to be doing the Morning Coffee with Rob, and then Trail Tale as well. Those will be pretty much the only two normal scheduled broadcasts that I end up doing. The Trail Tales will end up on YouTube and any other social media outlets as well. And then this will mainly be on, it'll end up on Facebook, but it'll also end up on YouTube, and then all the different streaming channels as well. So I do this one live, whereas the Trail Tale, I record it, edit it, and then post it. So that's what I try to do with that guy. All right. Anyway, with all that being said, I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope you all have a great time, and I'm gonna miss you guys, and I hope you miss me as well. And I hope you come back, and we will have some more cool stuff to share with you. All right, have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.